evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests.
Good evening.
So today I'll be presenting on one of the projects in the Leadership Excellence series, Goal Setting and Planning. Right off the bat, the title sounds boring. It is dry. Goal setting and planning, what does that have to do with me? But most of us here are university students, am I right?
Yes.
We're students, and with students we cannot escape from group works, group assignments, projects. But we're not foreign to group works. In fact, we've been to primary, we've been to secondary. Remember those days where you have to be in a group and present on the manila card? Yes? Something like this?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've all been to a group work. Now I want you to relive that moment. You're in a group of 4 in secondary, fumbling around with the manila card. Having multiple meetups, but always non-productive, because you waste a big chunk of time talking about something else other than doing the project. In the end, you finish up the manila card at the very last minute. Do we have these experiences?
Yes.
Yeah. So somewhere along those lines, right? Even though it's not manila card. So we do have it. Now, after these kind of experiences, I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. The first question. Did my group and I set up a goal before working on the project? Second question, did my group and I plan before doing a project? So let us know first, what is the definition of a goal? A goal is a specific objective you and your team must achieve. To make it simple, to hand in a group project by the 1st of May. As simple as that. That is the goal. Now let's see what's the definition of a plan. A plan is the blueprint for achieving these goals. Now we go back to the characteristics of goals. What kind of characteristics should a goal have? Specific, measurable, blah, blah, blah. Now let's go to the example so you know that. To hand in the group project by 1st May. It is very specific, because it shows clearly what we're going to do to hand in the project, right? It's measurable. The success of the goal is measurable. Either you hand in or you don't hand in. Third, it's action oriented. It started with a verb, to do something, to hand in something. So the group knows, we have to do something. And it's also realistic. It's not building a skyrocket within 5 days. It's to hand in a project from January until May. So it's realistic. It's challenging yet practical. And lastly, it's time bound. You have a due date, which is 1st of May in this case. Now moving on to how we implement goals. The first step is to involve team members in setting goals. Again, setting goals is not a one-man show. It's not one person says it and everybody must follow. If you're working in a group, all of us must discuss, and if we agree, yes, we should hand in by 1st of May, then every one of your group mates will have a sense of responsibility to get the job done. Second, write each goal for best results. Now when I read this, I was like, what does it mean? So for example, to hand in a project by the 1st of May, we generated it today, which is the 9th of January. Then write it down on a piece of paper. Meeting after meeting, February, March, April, come back and review it again and see where we are in achieving that particular goal. So that is what it means. Second, consider what you must do. It may be a bit funny why I put a picture of a tangled wire, but when you start to do something, do you expect that everything will go out smoothly? No. I see some people shake their heads. No. So for example, a group assignment. Some people can make it on Monday, some people can't. Some people can meet up on certain days, some people are busy on certain days. So it's hard, you have obstacles along the way. Why not meet up on Friday, where everybody has no classes? So these are the things that we can do to work out and to figure out to get over the obstacles. In other words, consider what you must do to untangle the wires. Fourth, regularly review progress. Now I'm going to share a tip or a skill that I learned in the Toastmasters Club, which I wished that I knew earlier. I'm part of the executive committee in the UB Toastmasters Club, and we call ourselves Excos. So whenever we have Excos meeting, I'm assigned to write minutes. For those of you that are not familiar with how a minute looks like, it looks something like this. So we have discussion points, wire information, what an action item, who to do it, and when it is due. And first, when I thought of writing this, I find it pointless. Why do you have to write? But with this, it makes our meetups very, very productive. You won't sit down with a bunch of friends and talk about Justin Bieber for 10 hours before starting to talk about what you're trying to say, what is the main thing that you're meeting up. So with this as a framework, you can sit down, start with the first point. Anika, how's the printing going? Have you done it? Done. Give a check. Ahmad, where do you find your reference for assignment? Have you found it yet? What do you need? How much do you need to go? When's the due date? Done. So one by one, you can do it systematically. And not only in UBD Toastmasters Club or Expos meeting, in fact, big corporations, they write minutes every time they have a meeting or a discussion. So this keeps us in track. When we meet up together, it lets us review where we are and what is achieved and what is not. So maybe we can try and write minutes, no matter it's a big or a small discussion, make it a habit. So it really helps you with your group discussion with your friends. Moving on to the planning process. Planning is echoing how we implement goals as before, so I'm going to brush it real quick. Planning reinforces goals. It makes a leader more future-oriented. It makes us see what lies ahead and what we will expect during a certain project. And it enables leaders to coordinate decisions and also ensures efficient use of resources. Moving on to 5 steps of planning. We establish strategies, how we're going to go about in finishing the assignment by 1st of May. And set a timetable, a due date. When and where you're going to get things done, when and where you get things done. So these are simple things. And assign responsibilities. Again, being in a group or being a leader is not a one-man show. Even though you're a leader, it doesn't mean you have to do everything by yourself. You have to delegate. You have to know how to assign responsibilities. Find people to help you. Find people to do certain things. Then you will work together as a team. Or else being a leader, you're just ordering people around. It doesn't really feel nice, is it? It doesn't really look nice, and the person that is receiving orders from you doesn't really feel the sense of responsibility to finish what you're trying to say. 4th is anticipate obstacles. Like what I mentioned before, not everything can go smoothly. We need to anticipate obstacles, and by that, we need to modify the plan as necessary. But do not be confused. You can stand firm at your goals, but you need to be flexible with your plans. Stand firm with your goal, be flexible with your plans. So this is how you can make a team going productively. So the Distinguished Club program is a framework for us Toastmasters. It's a very good example to see how Toastmasters International gives all clubs a framework and how we can achieve the goals. And for Toastmasters, we are all familiar with DCP points. We've been talking about it the whole time and how we manage to achieve them one by one during our term. So this is an example for us in Toastmasters Club, a framework that we can apply when we plan. Here it says DCP enables the club to establish goals and develop a plan to achieve them. So to conclude, even though goal setting and planning sounds like very, very basic, but once we learn how to master it, we not only can help ourselves to have better communication with others, but also shape ourselves to be better leaders. That's all from me. Thank you very much.